Judges 21. Ensuring the future for Benjamin. The men of Israel took an oath of Mizpah. None of us will give his daughter in marriage to anyone from Benjamin. So the people went to Bethel and remained there before God until evening, raised their voices in bitter weeping. They said, Lord, God of Israel, why has this happened in Israel, that today one tribe of Israel should be lacking? Early the next morning, the people built an altar there and offered burnt offerings as a communion offering. Then the Israelites asked, Are there any among the tribes of Israel who did not come up to the Lord for assembly? For there was a solemn oath that anyone who did not go up to the Lord at Mizpah should be put to death. The Israelites were disconsolate over their brother Benjamin and said, Today one tribe has been cut off from Israel. What can we do about wives for the survivors, since we have sworn by the Lord not to give any of them our daughters in marriage? When they asked, Is there one among the tribes of Israel who did not come up to the Lord at Mizpah? They found that none of the men of Jabesh Gilead had come to the encampment for the assembly. A roll call of people was taken, and none of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead was present. So the assembly sent 12,000 warriors there with orders. Go and put the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead to the sword. This is what you are to do. Every male, every woman who has had relations with the male, you should put under ban. Find among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgin women who had not had relations with the man. They brought them to the camp at Shiloh in the land of Canaan. Then the whole assembly sent word to the Benjaminites at the crag of Rimmon, offering them peace. So Benjamin returned that time, and they were given as wives the women of Jabesh Gilead who had been spared. But these proved to be not enough for them. People had regrets about Benjamin because the Lord had made a breach among the tribes of Israel. The elders of the assembly said, What shall we do for wives for the survivors? For the women of Benjamin have been annihilated. They said, There must be heirs for the survivors of Benjamin, so that a tribe will not be wiped out from Israel. Yet we cannot give them any of our daughters in marriage. For the Israelites had taken an oath, Cursed be he who gives a wife to Benjamin. Then they sought of the yearly feast in the Lord at Shiloh, north of Bethel, east of the highway that goes up from Bethel to Shechem, and south of Lebonah, and they instructed the Benjaminites, Go and set an ambush in the vineyard. When you see the women of Shiloh come out to join the dances, come out of the vineyard and catch a wife for each of you from the Benjamin. What? Okay, that was weird. Then go on to the land of Benjamin. When their fathers or their brothers come to complain to us, we shall say to them, Release them to us as kindness, since we did not take a woman for every male in battle. Nor did you yourselves give your daughters to them, thus incurring guilt. The Benjaminites did this, and they carried off wives for each of them from the dancers they had seized. They went back to his own heritage, where they rebuilt the cities and settled them. At that time the Israelites dispersed from there for their own tribes and clans. They set out from there, each to his own heritage. In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own sight.